In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on April 24, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 2 betting picks a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Boston Celtics versus Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets will look to get on the board in their first-round Western Conference playoff series against the Boston Celtics with a win in Game 4 on Monday night at the Barclays Center. Boston has a commanding 3-0 lead in the series after taking Game 3 on Saturday 109-103 to cover as a 4-point underdog. Second-seeded Boston went 51-31 in the regular season, while Brooklyn is the number 7 seed in the East at 44-38. These teams met 4 times in the regular season, with Boston winning the final 3 of those, including most recently a 126-120 triumph in Brooklyn on March 6th. Boston won and covered the spread in Game 3 of this series on Saturday for only the 3rd cover in the last 12 at Barclays Center. But Boston has covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 overall against the Nets. The Celtics have Brooklyn just where they want them, down 3-0, and the Celtics will do all they can to sweep the series and rest before their conference semifinals. Boston has covered the spread in 6 of its last 7, while Brooklyn has covered the spread in just 3 of the last 11. The Celtics have a winning scoring margin of 5 points in this series. Although Brooklyn is shooting over 50% for the series, the Nets have turned the ball over an average of 16 times per game. The Nets needed to come out and respond in their first home game of the series, but they came out flat and were always trailing as Durant and Irving simply never found their rhythm. Game 3 would have been a blowout loss for the Nets if not for the play of Brown, so given everything we've seen so far in this series, I'm sticking with the Celtics to complete the sweep with another win in this one, so the Boston Celtics to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The over has hit in 11 of the Celtics' last 15 games, and the over has hit in 8 of the last 11 meetings between these tees. The Celtics are shooting 50.7% from the field while averaging 120 points in their last 5 games. The Nets are shooting 47.4% from the field, while averaging 115 points in their last 5 games. The first game in this series went over the total by a slim margin, and it was the largest total of all 3 games. The number has come down in each of the last 2 games and now is down to its lowest total of the series at 220. That's 7 points lower than the Game 1 total. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will have to score in order to try and win. I expect that at least one of them will score 30 points and the other won't be too far behind. Plus, Brooklyn's defense is bad enough that Jason Tatum and company will be score and keep pace. This total feels too depressed given the desperation spot for the Nets. These teams should be more comfortable offensively after playing 3 times already. I expect a faster-paced game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Raptors versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Toronto Raptors head to Philadelphia to play the 76ers on Monday night for Game 5. Toronto staved off elimination in Game 4 to force Game 5. Philadelphia will look to end the series at home. It would help if we knew the status of Fred VanVleet for this contest, as he's now dealing with a hip injury. With that said, the Raptors do have Barnes back in the mix, and Gary Trent seems to be recovered from the illness he was dealing with earlier in the series. Embiid wasn't as dominant as he was previously, and that thumb will need surgery at the end of the year. Toronto extended their season for at least another game with a home win on Saturday afternoon. It came at a price though, with Fred VanVleet leaving the game and not returning. He is questionable for Game 5, and even though they played well without him in the second half, that puts a lot of pressure on others. Pascal Siakam was the best player for either team in the win with 34 points. Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes played for the first time since Game 1 and led the team in rebounds off the bench. Philadelphia had its moments in Game 4, but it never really felt like they were going to close out the sweep. Joel Embiid was ordinary, seemingly more interested in mixing it up with the Raptors than beating them, and they need him to be in top form to win at this stage of the season. Barnes did a really good job on James Harden, who was a team worst -14 for the game. Things should improve for Philadelphia at home, but this team always leaves you wondering. This is the biggest spread in the series so far. That makes sense with Philly commanding a 3-1 series lead and the Raptors potentially missing a top player. Toronto might have found something with their big lineup from the other day though. The Philadelphia 76ers are the more talented team, and they're excellent at home where their role players thrive. But the Raptors have enough toughness and defense to hang around, and let's not forget this series could easily be tied if they didn't choke away Game 3. The Raptors lose in the underdog role by an average of just 2 points. With Barnes back and Van Vliet out, they play a lot bigger. That does not give them the size to match up with Embiid 1-to-1, but it makes all of the double teams they are throwing at him a lot more effective. I like what I saw and think the Raptors will push to extend the series again. Win or lose, they keep it close. This line is a bit too steep, so the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In the first 4 games, the over 209.5 has gone over twice, but both teams are starting to push the pace even more. Toronto plays at a pace of 98.6, which ranks 25th, while Philadelphia plays at a pace of 98.4, which ranks 26th. However, in the 4 games in the regular season, they went over 209.5 in 3 of them. And in this series, they are averaging 217 points. Toronto's offense has started to get better as Trent Jr. and Barnes being healthy is key. Meanwhile, it should be expected Maxey and Embiid do a bit more on offense than in their last game. This should be a high-scoring game, especially if the Raptors get down, as they will be shooting a ton of threes and play fast to get back into the game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz vs. Dallas Mavericks. The Utah Jazz and Dallas Mavericks go head-to-head in Game 5 of the first round of the NBA playoffs. So far, this electrifying series has been played to a standstill, with the teams splitting the first 4 games 2 apiece. The scene will shift back to Dallas for Game 5. Utah escaped with a narrow 100-99 win in Game 4 thanks in large part to Jordan Clarkson, who came off the bench and dropped 25 points on 9-16 shooting. Luka Doncic returned from injury and put up 30 in a losing effort. Looking at the betting trends, the Jazz are 16-33-2 against the spread in their last 51 games against a team with a winning record, 6-19-1 against the spread in their last 26 road games, and 18-37-4 against the spread in their last 59 games overall. The Mavericks are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 home games, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against a team with a winning record, and 9-3 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. Head-to-head, the under is 5-2 in the last 7 meetings overall. The Jazz are 1-8 against the spread in the last 9 meetings overall, and the Jazz are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 meetings in Dallas. The Jazz desperately needed a win to get themselves back in the series, and they were able to get it done behind key contributions from all their key players. The Mavericks will be gutted after missing out on a major chance to take a 3-1 series lead, especially as they led late in the game before a pair of missed free throws from Powell ultimately cost them in the end. The Jazz were able to come through in a near must-win game at home, but the Jazz are still only 1-8 against the spread in the last 9 meetings overall. Utah managed to scrap and claw their way to a much-needed win in Game 4. Despite the return of Doncic, Dallas struggled to get going offensively, putting up just 99 points on under 43% shooting. Expect a different result when the scene shifts back to Dallas on Monday night. Look for the Mavericks to come in fired up and resemble what we saw in Game 3, where they converted at close to 50% from the field. Look for the defense to be as disruptive as always and limit good looks for Utah from long range. Dallas is 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games, while Utah is 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 as a road underdog. Look for the home team to take care of business in this one. I'll stick with the Mavericks to reclaim the series lead with a narrow win and cover at home. So the Dallas Mavericks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. There haven't been any strong scoring trends thus far in this series, with the over-under record being 2-2 through the first 4 games. Look for Dallas to be more in rhythm after getting 1 game under their belts with Doncic back in the fold. Expect them to be much more dialed in on Monday night. Utah has shown they are capable of putting up points all season with a top 10 scoring offense and some potent shooters, most noticeably Donovan Mitchell. While Dallas ranks as one of the best scoring defenses in the NBA, the lines may be over-accounting for that, with the over 8-3 in their last 11 games. Expect both offenses to show up. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video. whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.